June 6th, 1944. D-Day, the start of Operation Overlord, the codename for the Allied invasion of Normandy, France during World War II. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt delivers the following address in the form of a prayer to the American people.
Almighty God, our sons, pride of our nation, this day have set upon a mighty endeavor, a struggle to preserve our republic, our religion, and our civilization, and to set free a suffering humanity. For these men are lately drawn from the ways of peace. They fight not for the lust of conquest. They fight to end conquest. They fight to liberate. They fight to let justice arise and tolerance and goodwill among all thy people. They yearn but for the end of battle, for their return to the haven of home. Some will never return. Embrace these, Father, and receive them, thy heroic servants, into thy kingdom.
One such hero who made the ultimate sacrifice for freedom was Pierre Robinson. In 2015, I had the incredible opportunity to honor his life and his legacy. Here's that story.
Just a few months ago, Judy Shoemaker of Meadville, Pennsylvania, had no idea she had French family members longing to connect.
I'm so happy.
Decades after losing touch, relations on both sides of the Atlantic met at the American Cemetery in Normandy to honor a World War II soldier killed in action just after the D-Day invasion of June 6, 1944. Though he was born a Frenchman, Pierre Robinson died a sergeant in the U.S. Army. He was the adopted son of Shoemaker's grandfather, John Robinson.
He was very quiet and very mannerly. I heard that Grandpa loved him very much. He said that. I heard that he was killed, and Grandpa was very sad and never really got over that. I often wondered over the years if any members of the family on his side were still alive.
There were, and they were interested in their American family.
I'm Pierre's second cousin, so Pierre's mother, Blanche, was my grandmother's sister.
Gilles Grosdois Arthur had been trying to reach out to Pierre's American family for years.
I've always heard about Pierre from my grandparents. I've always heard about my granduncle and my grandaunt who lived in Meadville.
But the families never connected until a Meadville area high school student, Josh Slayton, began looking into the soldier's life and death. And that led to meeting Judy Shoemaker.
I went, yes! Finally, somebody recognizes an ordinary man with an extraordinary story.
Pierre was born in France in 1914. His birth father would die just 2 years later, killed in action during World War I. His mother Blanche remarried in 1920, and her new husband was Judy Shoemaker's grandfather, John Robinson, an American soldier still stationed in France after the war. Robinson adopted Pierre and moved the family to Pennsylvania, where Pierre would spend the rest of his childhood. In 1941, Pierre enlisted in the U.S. Army, and by 1944, Sergeant Robinson became one of thousands of soldiers taking part in Operation Overlord, the codename for the Allied invasion of France. Pierre had made it back to France, but would never again meet his French family. At his gravesite, with the French and American families together after so many years, Josh delivered a eulogy to Pierre.
Pierre survived the initial landing, but on the afternoon of June 7th, 1944, the 3rd Battalion was facing strong opposition just below Vierville-sur-Mer. While out on patrol, Pierre was killed by a rifleman.
In the reflective words of Pierre's adoptive father, John Robinson, "I couldn't have had a better son if I had one of my own."
Pierre's mother Blanche requested her son be buried in a permanent American cemetery in France, the one nearest to where he gave his life.
War can take away things that can never be given back. It can break families.
The American and French families began to lose touch after Blanche's death 3 years later. Now they are finally reunited.
There's a sense that there is more to it than a mere coincidence. It's kind of too beautiful to be true.
These cousins are now in regular contact with each other, as well as Josh and John, and they all plan to keep in touch, making sure Pierre's story lives on.
And let our hearts be stout to wait out the long travail, to bear sorrows that may come, to impart our courage unto our sons, wheresoever they may be. Help us to conquer the apostles of greed and racial arrogancies. Lead us to the saving of our country, and with our sister nations into a world unity that will spell a sure peace, a peace invulnerable to the schemings of unworthy men, and a peace that will let all men live in freedom, reaping the just rewards of their honest toil. Thy will be done, Almighty God. Amen.